and most of my punk rock stuff is usually inspired by the Jello Biafra, Keith Morris type of spoken word or throaty raspiness. They're kind of different singers, but those are the two of the old heads. Not to call them old, but whatever. The 80s punk rock. Because really, this song is really just Dead Kennedys. And yeah, I think that's the main inspiration for this one. And yeah, Jello Biafra, didn't really get into him ever until maybe my late 30s. I didn't hear Dead Kennedys really plastic surgery one until 2021. And yeah, I heard he's doing better from his medical stuff, so that's good to hear. And this one is very simple song called Binary Coders, and it could fit into like an 80s type of hardcore punk rock type of album. And that's what I'm going for usually. My other EP that I did way back in maybe October was more inspired by NoFX and Sublime, and mainly NoFX. I just had that on my brain for a good while. This one is more of that 80s type of juvenile, even though NoFX can be like that too. But I just finished song one, which was "Why Are You Shooting at That Cow?" at a cow. One of the first punk rock CDs I ever got was like from a library, I think, or from Tunes, or one of those UCD bins for like excuse me, for like $1. It was Liberal Animation because I like the artwork. And yeah, I don't really like that album, but it was pretty interesting when you're like 12 or 13 listening to early NoFX before El Jefe. But it's a decent album if I listen to it again, because I honestly haven't heard it since I was a teenager probably. It's one of those NoFX albums I never went back to. People don't really talk about it. Liberal Animation, they don't talk about that one, but as a kid, you see that album cover, it just looks so cool. And I still appreciate art like that, that looks like that. But song number 2 is called Binary Coders. And again, this one was inspired by a doodle I did. It was a doodle I did when I fasted a couple weeks ago for 3 days. And I didn't do anything with it. And then I started messing around with it again. And I just thought, well, I can make this into like binary code. So I just started doing ones and zeros for like an hour. And it came out pretty cool, I think. So again, if anyone listens to this and you're like a young artist, just save everything because you don't know when you'll use it again. That's my main advice to anyone who is pursuing any kind of creative pursuit, pursuing any creative adventure. Because, yeah, you don't know when you'll use something. Something will click. Something you thought was shit will become something cool at some point. So let me get this song out before I forget the melody, but it's very simple, mostly spoken word. And the only inspiration for this one is like the Jello, Dead Kennedys type of sound. Binary coders, push weights upon the back of your head, create a science boulder filled with virgin births and virgin deaths. Binary coders, dun, 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 dun. Scrape your spine to pick their teeth. Global trauma obscene. 2 left feet to swell and twist. Red light special marketing. First Amendment hard to swing. Add another pill to sink. Medicinal pyramid. Yeah, I gotta work out the melody for that last line, but something like that. First Amendment hard to swing, add another pill to sink. The medicinal pyramid. Binary coders provide the sun on layaway. Secure the embargo. Employ a simple color scheme. Binary coders. 0-1 delusional. No salt at the table. Disregard the animals. Red light special marketing. First Amendment hard to swing. Add another pill to sing. The medicinal pyramid. That last line sounds like some Bad Religion melody, so I don't know. Red light special marketing, First Amendment hard to swing, add another pill to sing, medicinal pyramid. I guess it works for a simple punk rock angsty chorus like that. But I hear it like more of a ska, like horny horn thing, horny horns that would play during the chorus, some horns type of ska stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm hearing right now. I can't really think of any other bands that would fit into this type of song right now. I'm just thinking Dead Kennedys again. It's pretty weird because I think that's the type of singing that I could get into, that Dead Kennedys flavor. But I really don't know every Dead Kennedys song or album. I know the Plastic Surgery, Disasters, but I don't know any of the other ones because I really haven't studied it or explored it enough. But it's definitely a big influence because it gives people the ability to not saying Jello Biafra can't sing, but it's a different type of expression than belting out punk rock stuff. But I said on my 501 album list, I put Plastic Surgery Disasters because that one instantly connected with me. And then I put the one he did with the Melvins, and I can't think of the. Let me look it up. So I give credit to it, and I'll link this too. Jello Biafra and the Melvins. It's got like a lion on the cover or a zebra. But it's another album that I thought was a perfect punk rock album. I don't know the Melvins that well. Excuse me. Never Breathe What You Can't See. Yeah, it's really good. I put this on my 501 albums that inspired my life. The Melvins are a band I want to get into because I know nothing about them. Maybe they're from Chicago. I vaguely remember maybe, or they're from the Midwest, maybe. Nah, they're from the Pacific Northwest. I was way off. But they're another one of those bands I probably would like a lot. I just haven't got into it because they're 80s punk rock. For some reason, I thought they were from the Chicago scene. I don't know why. But they were from Pacific Northwest, Washington, Washington State. So that's a band I have to really get into. But my goal over these last weeks was to get into Fela Kuti's entire discography because that's kind of punk rock too. But I haven't listened to any over the last week because I was doing other stuff. That Trabajo, that album, Trabajo Duro y Sin Mierdas, that one took a lot out of me. Like seriously, I just wanted to finish that so quickly. That was a different type of expression. This punk rock stuff is so much more free because I just thought about this yesterday, and I wrote 4 songs over the course of the day yesterday, and that's why I like punk rock more than anything. It's so free. You can do anything you want to do. And it doesn't have to be like a 4 or 5 minute song or a 3.5 minute radio song. It can be. Punk rock became radio staple, Blink 182 and stuff like that. But in the 80s, I guess it was different because there was new wave, there was prog, there was country, folky stuff. And that still exists today, too. I don't think punk rock was seen as a commercial commodity until maybe Bad Religion. I could be way off. I don't know the history of punk rock, who sold the most records. Like even before the Offspring and Green Day, I mean, for that generation, was it just the Stooges? But they were underground. The Ramones, I guess, kind of broke through. But I don't think punk rock was considered a legitimate art form in America or England or anywhere else until maybe way later. In terms of profitability, at like millions of records, that type of profitability, marketability. But it happen. Like I was a part of that Green Day, Offspring, Blink 182, pop punk, and yeah, they're still good. I could listen to Dude Ranch and still enjoy the whole thing or Enema. So yeah, it's weird. It's like that whole thing where once punk rock becomes popular, people don't want to like that band anymore. Like, I think that's so stupid. I just want to hear cool music. And yeah, it's cool to go back and listen to it now in my 40s. Stuff that I liked when I was in my teenage years. And yeah, it's interesting to look back at it. But yeah, it's weird, I was saying, because I always feel like I'm thinking of Dead Kennedys in my head, but I don't even really know their discography. I didn't grow up with it. I grew up with Pennywise, Bad Religion, No Effects, and whatever, Rancid, everything from Epitaph and stuff like that. No Use for a Name. Dead Kennedys, I knew the name. I used to get them mixed up with Dead Milkmen, with the punk rock girl and all that stuff. But yeah, they're a band I do appreciate. I need to get into it more and listen to their whole discography and some later of Jello stuff later, his collaborations with other people. It's weird, man. When I hear that voice in my head, and I don't even really, I never really had an emotional connection to Dead Kennedys, even though I like their music, and I think their lyrics are like really brilliant. My favorite lyrics probably Dead Kennedys and Bad Religion in terms of just lyrics, but then the music is just such a powerful force as well. So yeah, this one is definitely Dead Kennedys, all the inspirations from that. And yeah, I wish I could be more knowledgeable about underground punk stuff. People mention all these bands like Gorilla Biscuits, Napalm Death, even Suicidal Tendencies or Sick of It All. They're bands that I knew of growing up, but I never really experienced it because I didn't have their CDs or anything. I never had a Dead Kennedy CD or record. I never had any of their albums like on digital format until recently. So it's weird to discover stuff later in life. But if you want to get started with Dead Kennedys, just go right in. I think Plastic Surgery was the first one, and I just immediately loved it. So I think I listened to the other ones, but maybe not as much. So I'll have to go back and do that at some point. On my album of the year page, I'm always putting lists together of bands I want to rank because eventually I want to do it. Jimmy Eat World, another podcast mentioned them and how they're so underrated, and that got me intrigued because I only know Bleed American and Futures, and I like both of those, but I don't know their other later stuff or their earlier stuff. But somebody mentioned Jimmy Eat World is a crazy underrated, so they're a band I want to go through all their albums and rank them one day. It's more just to explore the discography. I don't care about the rankings so much. The way I do it, if I like it, I'll give it a 70 to 100. 70 is like something I do like. 100 is like a perfect album or album with no skips on it. If it's an album I don't like, I don't even give it a rating at that point because I feel bad giving something like a 30 out of 100 or a 50 or a 60. So yeah, the only albums I rate or rank are albums that are like I consider to be a 70 or above. 'Cause, I don't know, I find it weird. People give it like a 72 or this album got an 81.8. Where are those numbers coming from? So I'm trying to simplify it. Either it's either a 7, 8, or 9 or 10 out of 10. And anything else I just kind of forget about because there's just too much stuff to listen to, man. So that's where I'm at. My inner music critic, that's how my brain works for that. But all right, I guess I'll stop here. This is song 2, Binary Coders. I was actually going to name the album this, but then because I made that doodle, which I also titled Binary Coders, I'll share that. But then I just thought it was funnier to use the "Why are you shooting at a cow?" I just thought that was more funny and more of a punk rock type of title. So that's song 2. There's 2 more songs after this, and I'll go through them shortly.